In the Free State, poor quality of roads, substandard infrastructure, non-responsive police and stock theft are among some of the key service delivery issues in that particular province. That's according to Public Protector's Office as it wrapped up its roadshow in the Free State, and it also held its roadshow again in the Northern Cape. Now, Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane and her Deputy Advocate Kholeka Gcaleka spent 2 days in the Free State speaking with various mayors, speakers, as well as the traditional authority to get to the bottom of some of the issues around service delivery. Let's now speak to the Public Protector Advocate Busisiwe Mkhwebane. Advocate Mkhwebane, thank you so much for your time. You listened to the cries of the people in the Free State. I mean, they're telling you that, when it rains, some of them are not able to access the roads. Ambulances cannot get in. Pupils can't go to school. There's strained relations between a community in some parts as well as a councillor. I wonder, at the back of these cries that you've heard, what happens now?
Good evening, Bongiwe and the SABC listeners. We indeed are on a road show with the office, visiting provinces, and we started in the Free State. Our intention is to meet with the speakers of the provinces, because they are the very critical and key stakeholders as far as making sure that they do oversight over the executive and that government works for the people. So indeed, in the Free State, we've met with the MECs, the Premier, in fact it was the acting Premier and the Speaker. So that's where we brought to their attention various reports which we've issued so that they can assist in implementing those reports, because once you implement those reports, you wouldn't have recurrence of the very same challenges which are faced by the communities. I mean, coming to the issue of the relationship or the fight between the councillor and the traditional leadership, if the Free State province implemented our report relating to systemic challenges on the relationship between traditional leadership and the public servants, or especially in the municipal level, because that's where you pick up a lot of conflict, which has an impact on service delivery. Because if that could have been resolved, you have traditional leaders who are supposed to be consulted and be entering into service delivery agreements with the municipalities, and as well participate in council meetings. We wouldn't be facing such challenges as a country, or even Maluti Apufu. If there was that relationship, that consultation, things would have been resolved earlier, instead of now these challenges which are faced by the community.
And what reasons were you given by the officials involved as to why they have not implemented these remedial actions?
You know, the HOD COCTA, they indicated that they've started implementing the remedial actions, but the process is very slow, because we are saying to them, you are violating the legislation, the Traditional Leadership Governance Framework Act. Especially Section 20 is very clear that traditional leaders should be consulted, and there should be an issue where they are also allocated the roles and responsibilities. We will be receiving an explanation. In fact, we requested that the HOD and the MEC COCTA, we need explanation on why those remedies are not implemented. And we were told that they've started implementing, they've engaged the traditional leaders. But then when we were at the Kholeka Traditional Council, we were told no, they don't know anything. Because another thing which we said is they should also be training of the traditional leaders who are sitting in the councils on their roles and responsibilities. So the crux of the matter, Bongiwe, is that if only state institutions can implement our remedial actions, that will go a long way in avoiding and eradicating the challenges faced by communities. And again, we were trying to show them that, if they engage the traditional leadership, especially in rural communities where there's traditional leaders, use them, because a lot of the people, when they've got challenges, they go to the traditional councils. But as well, if they consult on them, there wouldn't be any conflict. I mean, there were examples which were given by the traditional council that if the municipality consulted them, they wouldn't have initiated process at the municipality of a sewage project, which ended up destroying the oil pump or oil pipe from KwaZulu-Natal to Bethlehem. Now you see, if there was that arrangement, and because the traditional councils have the surveyors general's report and they know where you can develop the place, and they were willing to allocate to them another land to develop that. So I think if that can be resolved, the country can go a long way in addressing service delivery challenges.
Now, Advocate Mkhwebane, pardon me, we're almost out of time, but I can't help, ask you about this, because there's also some reports that, suggest that the Public Protector's Office has also absolved former Free State Premier Ace Magashule, and of course in his government at the time, of any irregularity when it comes to the creation of that controversial integrated website that we saw in the province dating back to 2015. But one of the things that, I find interesting is that a value for money audit is still outstanding in this particular matter. And I wonder if you think it was wise of the government at the time to take, to undertake such a huge task, especially in the face of poor service delivery.
You mean the taxi rank?
The website, the integrated website project.
That report we've issued, and there were findings against the HOD, I think, and even the CEO, because the process which was followed, we had findings on those, and some of the remedial actions have been partially implemented. And remember, Bongiwe, the signing, the negotiation, the advertisement of that particular tender was the responsibility of the officials. And indeed, we did our forensic investigation. We checked any communications between the politicians, especially the premier, with the service provider, and we didn't have any evidence to that particular effect.
But was it value for money?
Findings, you remember the mandate of the Public Protector. The Auditor General is the one who's supposed to audit the project and pronounce on that. As the Public Protector, we had findings against the administration, especially on issues of maladministration, because we said processes were not followed, and when you procure such a website, there's a role which should be played by SETA, and again, how SETA should support such projects. And I think what also was very clear was that the expenses which were extended on the project, it was involving the websites of all the provincial departments of the province. But then the issue of auditing the expenses, that is then the mandate of the Auditor General. I think it will be interesting to hear whether they audited that and what were their findings, and as well the National Treasury or even Provincial Treasury should also check that for the issue of value for money.
I hear you. Very briefly, before I let you go, because I know you're on the road, I know you can't talk about ongoing investigations because you always talk about matters when they've been finalized, but I wonder if you would say that everything is on track when it comes to the complaint that was laid by the ANC's Mervyn Dirks, and when can we expect this particular matter to be concluded?
Bongiwe, on that one, I indicated the last time that the complaint is still it is still early stages. We've issued allegations letters, because once a complaint is lodged, And in this one, we should finalize within 30 days. And I don't think we will be able to do that due to our workload. But then we've issued allegations letters, meaning giving the president, giving any other person who was present there an opportunity to, like we started collating evidence and information. So it's still a long process for us to go as far as that matter is concerned.
All right, Advocate Mkhwebane, thank you so much for your time. I know you're busy with those road shows, but we'll touch base with you as you then conclude some of that and just to get a sense of how things are looking like in all the 9 provinces. Thank you so much for your time.